Kent Peters and Money Talk here with another video. And this video I'm going to talk about first things to do when you get your first job. So I'm assuming you're obviously a teenager if you're getting your first job. If you're like 22 and you're just now getting a job, I mean, that's pretty sad, but still, just to help you out. So if I talk to my younger self, I would pretty much tell him to pretty much save as much as you can, which I was pretty good at doing. So my first job, I'm not counting the paperboy job, because it wasn't a real job, but the first real job I had was pretty much a bagger at Albertson. I'm just looking at this timer. But anyway, I was pretty good at saving money back then when I was a teenager, because obviously I didn't have to pay any bills. I didn't even have a car bill because I didn't drive back then. So that is one good thing about not having a car, because once you get that car, you're pretty much stuck with some expenses. So right now, when you don't have a car, guess what? You can save more money. And you don't have bills on top of that. So if you're lucky, you don't have parents make you pay rent when you're 16. I mean, you got a lot of money coming to you. I mean, obviously, I was only making like $70 a week. Sometimes I made $100, sometimes I was lucky enough to make $150 a week back when I was like 16. I don't know if I ever made $150. I know I made over 100. When I was $100 is a lot of money for a 16-year-old kid, so I was pretty happy about that. And I just kept piling that money up, saving it, because I was not really a big spender. Probably the first year I worked at Albertson, the most expensive thing I bought was like a PlayStation 2. And that was like, what, $200? So that was pretty much the most expensive thing I bought in the whole year I was working at Albertson. And I didn't really get licensed until I was like 18. So I got licensed pretty late. I'll tell y'all why I got late. But here's one thing that most people don't tell you that I wish somebody would have told me, that you should invest some of your money. Some of that money you save, you should invest some of it. So you're probably wondering, what is investing? You can basically buy like shares in companies. I'm pretty sure most people watch my video do know what investing is, but I'm going to say this first time you watch any of my videos, maybe you're still in high school. You want to know what investing is, how you invest in stock and all that. Because these are things that nobody taught me when I was like 16 years old. I didn't really know. I might have kind of had an idea what stock was, but didn't fully understand. I thought it was pretty much gambling. So, what are stocks? They're basically companies. They're basically like a share of companies you buy, like Comcast. It's a company, but you can buy certain shares in those companies. So you got partial ownership in Comcast. And over time, those stocks pretty much build up. So let's say you bought 20 shares of Comcast when it was only $20. Then it shoots up to like $50, and you sell those. I mean, you pretty much make some profit there. So that's one way you get paid from stocks. But then the other way, it's pretty much like a long-term way. You get paid from like dividends. So let's use really income. how much do they pay? Like 23 cents per share. So let's say you bought like 10 shares of Realty Income. So now you're getting paid like $2.30 every single month. But then you keep, what if you bought like 10 shares every month of that Realty Income? Now you're adding like an extra $2.30 every month that you'll be getting. So you're probably wondering, okay, I got an idea what the stock market is, but how do I actually invest in the stock market? Well, if you're a teenager today, you have a lot easier than I did when I was 16. Because when I was 16, there was none of these Robinhood, M1 Finance, Webull. None of that stuff exists when I was 16. So you're 16 right now, or 18, which is even better. You have it easy. So I'm not sure if you could actually open up a Robinhood account when you're 16. I'm not quite sure. When you're 18, you obviously can. Maybe you can open up one, but you might have to get permission from your parents. So just put it that way. If you're like under 18, you probably have to get permission from your parents. But if you are able to sign up when you're under 18, I say go for it. Because obviously I never got tested because none of those exist when I was 16. When I was 16, I had no idea how to get in the stock market. I didn't really know much about it. I wasn't that into it. I thought it was just gambling. But when I was like 20, when I was in college, I took like this personal finance class. And I learned some things about the stock. I actually wanted to buy some stocks back then, but I had no idea how to do it. Because back then you pretty much had to go to like it was like a second party you had to go to. Like a middle person, a stockbroker. So that's pretty much how it was back then. And I kind of didn't want to go through all that. So I had to stay out of the stock market for a while. Until one day, all these investing like Robinhood, Acorn was the first one I got into. So I'm just pointing that out. So you do want to invest in the stock market. I mean, try to sign up with Robinhood. You may have to be 18, you may not, but either way, I say you should try it. You should go for it. But if you do somehow need your parents' permission, I mean, you should ask your parents. I mean, may your parents help you. May they'll be like, you know what? Don't invest in that crap. It's gambling. Some parents might actually think that investing in the stock market is gambling. I mean, because if that's the case, you probably are going to have to wait. Like I said, I don't know if you have to be 18 or not. But if you are 18, you are your own man or woman. If you want to invest in that stock market, go for it. But now, how much do you invest in the stock market? I mean, it depends. I mean, how much do you want to put aside? So, obviously, you're saving up some money. So there's a certain amount of money you want to put in a saving account. And there's a certain amount you want to put aside in the stock market. So you got to decide how often are you going to put money towards for the stock market. Are you going to do it every time you get paid or just once a month? So you got to think it that way. And again, if you're still living with your parents, this is like one of the best times to do this because you don't have all those expenses. So I saved quite a bit of money. I tell you, I saved way more money than what I was spending when I was a teenager. I'm just gonna put it that way. So I could have invested quite a bit in the stock market if I could tell my younger self, if I could talk to my younger self, I would actually try to convince them to invest some of that money into the stock market. If I actually could. I tell you this, I would have had quite a bit of money. But we're gonna say you decide to put in like $50 a month into the stock market. We're gonna say you decide to do it. So you buy like one share every single month. And maybe some of y'all, if y'all really want to stretch, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna put $100 a month into the stock market. I mean, go for it. Again, make sure you still got some in the saving account and some in that stock market. And when you put money into the stock market, you really don't want to take money out. I mean, you can do it like every once in a while, but try not to do it too much because you want that to grow. And it does. The stock market does grow faster than your saving account will, but you also lose a lot more money too than yours. I mean, the saving account is more secure, but the interest just isn't as much as to what the gains isn't as much to what the stock market could be. So you could gain a lot in the stock market, but you could also lose a lot. So we're gonna say you put in like $70 a month into the stock market. You still put in a good amount in your savings, and then of course the rest you have your spending account. The money that you spend pretty much. So which platform do you use? I mean, you could use Acorn. The thing with Acorn, you don't choose where your money goes. They automatically take money from like your checking account and they put it into Acorn. Because I had Acorn before. But Robinhood, you kind of have a choice to which ones you buy, what stocks you go into. You have a lot of options: Comcast, Realty Income, AT&T, Wendy's, American Airlines. There's so much of those you could buy. And do not just buy one share, because you don't want to put your eggs in one basket. You want to like diversify your portfolio. And just keep doing this for a while. Just calculate how much you're making. I mean, obviously when I was a teenager, like I said, the average I was getting paid was probably like around $70 to $100 back when I was 16, because I was working part-time. But you might make more than me. You might be making $150, $200 every single week. I mean, you make $200 a week at 16-year-old, that's pretty good. You might be able to afford putting in $100 a month into the stock market. I mean, it may seem like it's a waste of money, but over time, that stock will build up. You will have a lot of money in there. It will build up like crazy. Especially once those dividends start coming, they'll start building up. It's called pretty much a snowball effect. Because you'll be getting like 23 cents every 3 months, then that 23 cents will end up turning to like $2. Over time, that $2 will be $20. So before you know it, you're getting $100 every 3 months. So it does go up. And again, don't go crazy on credit cards. I know it's tempting. You get $5,000 worth of credit, it is tempting. You are tempted to like put a lot of money in that card. I mean, don't do it. Don't max it out. When you use your credit card, try to pay off as fast as you can. Don't keep money on there too long, because you'll end up paying extra on interest. And sometimes you'll be tempted to get another credit card. Before you know it, you are really in debt. So don't do that when you first get a job. I didn't even have a credit card until like 3 years after I got my first job. When I first got a job, I didn't want anything to do with credit cards. But then like 3 years later, I got my first credit card. Obviously, I just heard horror stories of people with credit cards, so I was kind of scared to get one for a while. And don't spend money on things that don't matter. Like, you don't have to buy shoes. You don't have to spend $200 on shoes. I mean, that is a waste in my opinion. I mean, you can buy shoes for like $20, $40. That'll last just as long as those $200 shoes. So I just want to put that on there, and obviously I ain't run out of time. So you like this video, give me a thumb up, subscribe to my channel. And by the way, what was your first job? I'd really like to know. But with that being said, have a good day. Bye for now.